Welcome to the book club. Before I bring in our star guest today, who some of you know, you may have seen on TV, you may have seen different documentaries, you may know her from YouTube. Before I bring her in, I would like to share with you my thought of the day. And my thought of today is what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Whatever you believe in your mind you can do, you can do. Whatever you truly believe in your heart, if you hold it in your mind, you can achieve it. How do we do that? Everything look around you. This book, this chair, this TV, everything began as a mere thought once upon a time. And here we are today, bringing it to life. Everything began as a thought. So whatever you want to achieve, you first have to see in your mind, decide it is possible, and do it. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve today? What would make you happy? What would be something that you could do today? Think about it in your mind. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Napoleon Hill wrote that beautiful quote. Just remember, anything that you see in your mind, you can achieve. But today, as this is a book club, we have one of my favorite authors come in. She is one of my really close friends. She's really special in my life. She's somebody that means the world to me. She is somebody who you will know as the #1 transgender icon in the world. She has her own show that she put out there. She put her whole journey from beginning to where she is now online. It is the most beautiful, beautiful story. I am so proud to call her a friend. Gigi Gorgeous has written an amazing book, which she's going to be talking about today, The Tea Guide. I was at her book launch last week. It was phenomenal. The week before, it was amazing. Gigi Gorgeous and Gottmik have inspired millions online, on reality TV, and in award-winning documentary with their honest, hilarious, and gorgeous tales of what it means to be true to oneself. Today, we're going to join the conversation with Gigi and Adso Gottmik was here as they share their valuable insights with anyone from those who are beginning their own transgender journey to those who are wanting to just be the best in life that they can be. And this is about authenticity. Couldn't be more perfect for Pride Month. Welcome to the book club, Gigi Gorgeous. Woo! I'm so excited to have you here, Boo. How are you?
I am so good.
It doesn't matter what page I open to, there's a stunning picture of you. Like, it's so everything. We love it so much. So this is the book, The Tea Guide. Let's dive in. What brought you to writing this book? Because look, there's two of you, right? There's Gigi and Gottmik. So your faces are like half and half. I love that. Yes. But I want to hear more about that story and the way it is. So tell me what got you to write the book.
Kate and I really had never seen a book like this before. And we were really, really compelled to share our stories. And you would think like a trans man and a trans woman wouldn't have that much in common. But the more we became close and the more we shared our stories, we found out that we actually do have a lot in common. And we were like, we should just join forces, write a book for basically our younger selves. Like, we were just like, if we had a book like this growing up, I don't know how much easier transitioning could be or would have been. So we wrote this kind of like, you have math textbooks, you have science textbooks, but now you have a gender and sex textbook, and it's all about transitioning. And it's a hardcover, so you can go with your other school books. And thank you for having me on, Natasha. I love you.
So let's dive in. I would love to understand. Can we be personal? Can we ask you like every kind of thing?
Yes. As you can tell, I am an open book, literally.
I love that. Well, no, I really enjoy that because in the book, there's actually different parts where you and Gottmik answer in the blue and the pink from opposite sides of the journey that you've both been on. And when you did your book launch, what I love is it's so real. So you've got questions and you just honestly answer them. So, with the journey of transitioning, was that hard? Like, I can't imagine going through it's just such a big change. Like, was that difficult for you?
I mean, it was very, 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 I really didn't know where to turn. I had like one or two trans girlfriends and they just gave me their resources, and it wasn't, every resource isn't for every single person's transition. And that's what I really learned. And I mean, if I had this, we give you all of our fucking resources. We give you everything, like the good, the bad, the ugly, and the mistakes we've made, you know, like a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't have done if, you know, my trans girlfriends weren't telling me. But yeah, it was just really a road where I was like really just fending for myself and figuring shit out. And that's why we wrote this. We really wanted just to let you know what we've been through and how to make it easier for you. And I love that you brought up how it's written, because when we were writing it, we were like, we don't know if we want to make it like just like a speaking at you book or a speaking with you book. And the more we got together and we had sessions, we were like, we should just make it like a he said, and then I say, and then kind of like a conversation. So when you're reading it, you kind of feel like you're hanging out with us. And at the beginning of the book, we say, you know, if you are alone during this process, it's very, very crucial that you have people around you. You have your chosen family. You have people that love and support you. So we are your new best friends if you are alone. And I feel like the conversational kind of like, you know, podcast-y conversation vibe really, really takes it there. And I'm glad people are enjoying that. Because it was a choice, you know, not many books.
Oh my God. We love it. It's so beautiful because I haven't seen a book written in this style before where it's very conversational, like a podcast interview. You know, I could just open to any page and read right here. So you say, Pride Month queer bait. Gottmik says, the worst is when you find out that a company that appears to be supportive during Pride Month is actually donating to anti-gay organizations. And then you say, honestly, I really only realized that companies queer bait within the past couple of years. I always just thought that it was cute how everyone throws up a flag during Pride Month. But now I think it's so fucked up that these companies aren't behind the community the rest of the year. I love that people are talking about this now, though. I think it's progress for sure. Gottmik then says, total progress, but it still sucks that as a trans person, you're used as a puppet and sometimes discriminated against. And you say, I agree. I'd love to just lean in for a second there because we live in LA. You and I live in LA and we live in a beautifully happy gay culture, but there are so many places that just don't support, you know, this beautiful normality, which is normal. Like two of my best friends are transgender icons. You're the biggest one in the world. And my other friend is, you know, going through a change too. And like, for me, this is so important that anyone should be free to express themselves. So I'd love to lean into that for a minute.
Yeah, you know, it's Pride Month now, which is also so crazy that we're in June. Like, what the actual heck? But I really, Cade really, Gottmik really taught me to look into these companies. You know, when I first started working in this space, I felt like if I was included in a brand campaign or if I was invited anywhere during Pride Month, I just thought it was so nice of a brand or a company. I was like, oh, this is fabulous. You know, I'm invited. But the more I, you know, did it over the years, it became to feel like I was just checking one of their boxes. And that's not a good feeling. You know, if you're not going to be out and proud and fight for my community for the rest of the year, then I don't want to be involved in any kind of campaign with you. And I think it is true what we say in the book. You know, people, it's so easy for them to just slap up a rainbow flag and be like, happy Pride. And, you know, that's nice and all because it is Pride Month. And like, I don't wear a rainbow like this all year round either. But you know, you have to be inclusive all year round. And the more research you do, you see that these companies are, you know, donating and very, very involved with anti-LGBTQIA plus organizations. And it's really, really disheartening. And it's like, wait, I was paid by them to attend or work, you know, an event or something like that, but they didn't support me the other 11 months of the year. So that was really important for us to touch on.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I have a question which is, you know, very personal, but like for people going through the transition, whether it's, I know you guys, you know, I learned this from your beautiful book launch. You phrased it so well. You said there's like bottom surgery and then like top surgery. So like when people are doing these kind of surgeries, like what does it feel like when you wake up and you've done that final, because that's the final like shock factor. They're like, fuck, I've done it. Like I've done that fight because there's all the hormones and everything that goes into it. But like when you've done one or the other or both, and you can go into it as much or as little as you want. But like when you do that Is it like, do you feel like a different person, or like, what's that feel like?
I would say for me, so I'm very on the binary. Like I literally just love looking feminine and pretty and girly and just all that. So, and I learned, writing this book, it's like, we have so many fabulous contributors in here that are non-binary, people that are trans that have gotten no work done, and that's fabulous. But for me, I'm pro-surgery. I love my life after I've gotten things done, and that's just something that I needed to validate myself with. But I will say, yeah, after, getting any kind of confirmation surgery, and I've talked to so many other fabulous trans people who have gotten their boobs done or their FFS, which is facial feminization surgery, or my husband, his top surgery, or Cade, his top surgery, I know was so, it can make you be put in such a mentally dark place when you have something on your body that you don't want, or you have something on your body that you want enhanced, like breasts, And it is, when you do wake up, it definitely is like oh my God, I don't feel like a different person. You just feel like your soul that's inside of you is like being seen by the world. That's how I would describe it.
I love that because I can speak to that. I grew up with like tiny boobs, and I felt very like the way I grew up, like I felt like I wanted to be more feminine in my way. So I decided, for me personally, that meant having my boobs done. So I remember waking up feeling like that day after, and I was super young when I did them, but it was a complex I was going through in my head, So I knew when I woke up, I felt like, wow, fuck, I've really done this. Like I've connected. So I think it doesn't matter who you are. It's a personal thing, that we go through to feel our best. And leaning into that, I mean, this picture is freaking amazing, boo. Like the two of you together just absolutely nail it. And, authenticity for me is key. In fact, for everybody, it's key. Being authentic to yourself and who you are is the most important thing you'll ever do. Understanding that you have to be first place to yourself. You never want to be second place to somebody else. You always want to be first place to you, and you dominate that. You are number one to you. You nail it. You're like, I'm number one. So give us your 3 best tips on how to be authentic to who you are, to which whoever is listening today. Someone's just observing, listening, learning for the first time, maybe going through some transition themselves or a transition in their own life. How can they be authentic to who they are to achieve the success like you have?
I would say, it's taken me a long time. I kind of faked it till I made it. I feel looking back, everyone's like, so how do you have all this confidence? Like, where does this come from? And a lot of the time I would say from my mom, because she passed when I was 19. And that was ultimately the reason why I transitioned. I was like, life is too short. I've seen firsthand that life can be taken from you way too soon. So I would say, and I always answer the question by saying, I think my mom is the reason why I'm so confident, because she was so confident. But I think the real reason is you just have to fake it till you make it. So I think that's, or be it until you become it, like very that, right? Like we have very the same outlook, and it's like, it works, sooner rather than later, you are going to feel confident if you are, faking it, and it works. And the second one I would say is realizing that there's nobody like you but you. And I think that is really important, because I feel oftentimes with like social media and just all the comparisons that we make within each other, I think that comparison is the thief of hope and happiness. I think that, knowing that it's literally just you in this world, nobody is like you, is so empowering, and it makes you just feel like an individual. And it's like, that person can be achieving all that, this, that, and the other, all my goals, but they're not me, they're never going to be me. And I think that really helps me, and has helped me every day, just knowing that I am Gigi. No one else is Gigi, And the third one I would say is, you just gotta keep it moving. You just have to, everyone else is so involved in their own head. Everyone is so insecure about what's going on with them. Not everyone is worried about what you're doing. You got to just keep it moving and check in with yourself, but push on, bitch.
Bitch, that is the quote of the day. I love that. You have to. You're right. You have to like slay and show up. If I didn't show up as me, I wouldn't be where I am today. People try to pull me down. They try to say, you're never going to be anything, because I was ahead of the OnlyFans game and I was a webcam girl. I did OnlyFans back then in my own way. And because of that, it was then like, well, how are you going to be doing this? Well, because of that, I was sexually abused, which gave me a story to share and save someone's life today. We have to do what we're born to do. And each one of us is born with a gift inside of us that we got to share. Like, you have a beautiful gift to share in the world. And I love that. You know, some of those things that you've got the most amazing testimonials and contributions in your book. Your husband, who I grew up with, Nat Getty, my God, this is such a beautiful testimonial. Paris Hilton, such a beautiful testimonial. Adam Lambert, Alok, like you got the coolest testimonials. Like, these are just amazing. Your friends love you. And it's so beautiful to see that so many people are so forward thinking in the world and in the right place, because we live in a place where AI is becoming such a big thing. Today on the podcast, I've got two people speaking, really well-known people speaking about AI and the future thinking of it and the way we're going into it, you know, and where you are is forward thinking. You're like, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to be. I know where I am. Yeah. So tell me a story from the book. If somebody picks this up today that they can get out of it, tell us something in there that you're not going to share the whole story of, but there's something in this book that you would love for them to pick up and learn about. Maybe it's a touching story, a funny one.
So I actually, right off the top of my head, and also I must say that the reason that we have all these contributors in here is because we knew that our lens of life and what we've gone through wouldn't be enough to cover all of the bases of the trans experience. We thought initially we're going to just have all trans people in here only. And we were like, yeah, it's a trans book. But, you know, talking about it more, we were like, no, we should have some allies in here too. And one of my favorite ones actually is from my dad, who wrote, and it was, I know you know, there's a deadline with publishers, and we were just at the 48 hours or something till we had to turn in our good copy. And me and Gottmik were like, should we have our parents write? And I texted my dad and I was like, hey, I want you to write an excerpt in my book. And within 24 hours, he sent 3 pages. And I was gagging when I read them. I had like tears in my eyes. And he's like, change whatever you want. Like, it's fine. Like, this is just a rough draft. And like, I mean, the photo of him and his wife that he sent, so cute, like adorable. And just the most touching words, honestly, because we've been through so much. Like, everyone comes to me and they're like, oh, you're so blessed to have an accepting dad. But it wasn't always that way. There was a huge learning curve with him and I, and just to see how far we've come as daughter and father and daughter, it just is so crazy. And for him, like, people will stop him like in the mall and be like, oh my God, like, I know you're Gigi's dad. Will you help me with my newly trans son? I don't know what to do. Or my newly trans daughter. Like, people from like old coworkers, because he's retired, will hit him up and be like, so my child is now experiencing this. I know your daughter is Gigi. Can you give me some tips? So now he's basically like a trans fairy godfather to the community. And just to see him be so, and he's not like wanting to be on camera or wanting to be a public speaker or anything about it. But when he did my documentary, he just did a confessional and he was speaking from his heart. And now it's made him such a role model for other parents within the community. And I'm just so happy to have this in print because I love him so much. And yeah, it's just very, very special. That's a very, very special one to me. It's towards the front of the book.
Oh my God, this is so gorgeous. I love it. That's so touching. Okay, well, you guys, that's a really special moment to read. And, you know, so many of us are still healing from wounds with our own fathers. I know this. So I'm sure that will touch somebody's heart in a way and help you on your own journey. And look, I love the book and I'm not going through my own transition that way. I'm going through a transition in my own life in another way. So this book is so useful for anybody. You don't just have to be going through a transition in that way, you know? So I think the word transition is a beautiful word. It can be an emotional thing. This really gave me confidence. That's the thing I guess I took away from the most in the book was like to fucking own it. Like, just be who you are. That's what I took away personally. I was like, yeah, you know what? I get this. And I love it. The chapters are so good. You have finding yourself with Courtney deciding to come out, Adam Lambert on coming out, medical versus non-medical options, realistic expectations, chosen family. That's such a big part of it as well. Advocating for yourself. I love the fact that, you're so honest and open. You have no holds barred. You're like, fuck that. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to share. And you're such a beautiful human. Like, you're just so kind and loving. So tell me, how do you handle like when people are nasty, like hate, when people are saying things? Because in our own careers, we get this. We get haters. We get what I call keyboard warriors. People who sit behind the keyboard and they're like, "Rah," and you're like, yeah, bitch, you're only doing that because you're behind the keyboard. But if you were in front of it, you wouldn't be saying any of it. But I don't care because I am doing it for the small voices. I'm doing this for the big masses. So what do you do when you have hate or things coming at you?
And you're so open too. And I feel like that's why we're such good friends, because we've been through it. And that's why, the most positive, happy, inspiring people are the ones who have been through the most, and you really do show that. I would say, honestly, the way that I get out of feeling down about what people say about me is just realizing that I don't do that. Like, I've never gone on someone's page and written something negative. And if I feel so passionately about something, like say I was anti-trans, I would not go out of my way and write on someone's page, like, unless I had some underlying feeling of being trans myself. Like, are you hiding anything? Or like people being like, oh, like I don't support gay marriage. It's like, well, are you maybe a little gay? That's what I feel like. You are like, you're suppressing something within yourself. That's how I see it. And a lot of people, in my life who have been anti-trans or anti-gay, they end up coming out as like bi, or they end up coming out as trans or full gay. Like, it's just like, girl, you're not fooling anyone by being like this. So I just really try to look at it like that. And also I feel like being on social media, it's so easy to get trapped in looking at the comments and going down a rabbit hole. I think sometimes it's just better to step away and not look at what anybody else says. Post stuff that you like, be proud of yourself, be able to speak to it, and then move on. Move on with your real life in real life. Go outside, work out, go to a restaurant. I just feel like people are so obsessed. And yeah, that is just my advice, I guess.
That's such good advice. When did you know that you wanted to be a woman, like a girl? When did you decide, like, I want to, change?
I always knew. So I remember, even from my earliest memory, I was wearing a towel over my head with like an elastic band, wanting it to be longer. And I was putting on nail polish, and I was wearing my mom's clothes and her makeup, and just the classic story, I guess. And then I got into competitive diving, and I was on my way to the Olympics, and I kind of just suppressed it. I was like, I wasn't really out then. I was kind of like hiding a big chunk of myself, but I was in my early teens. So dating was kind of just like freshly new. I was just like, oh no, I'm not going to date. My friends are dating, but I'm not going to. And then I quit diving right before I was put on to the Olympic trail, and I found makeup, and I was like, I feel like I'm a gay boy, basically. And then and everyone would be like, well, do you want to be a girl? Like, what is all this? Like, you're giving very feminine energy, like, and you dress only in girls' clothes. And I was like, no. And then it became, yeah. And I was like, okay, so I met this trans girl in New York, which I talk about in the book. And I was like, I can do that too. Like, nobody ever told me I could do that. And then from that night forward, I write about this in detail in the book and my previous book. And that night forward, going home in the cab in New York City, I decided I'm going to be Gigi, and I'm going to make this happen for myself. And that's just very like the Aries Taurus within me. I'm like, I'm so stubborn. I'm like, let's just do this. And yeah, that's, I always knew, basically, that's my answer. I always knew. I just put it off because of social norms and what I was taught. And it really, like, that's why I feel like this book is so important. And I feel like people are going to pick this up and be like, oh my God, I can do it too. Look at them. Look at all the fab other trans people in here. And it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Like, you can be happy. And that's what I really want people to take away from this. It's not just a book about being trans. It's about the human experience and change and any transition. Like you just said, Natasha, I feel like it's not about being transgender. It's just, this book just transcends being transgender, I feel.
Wow, that was a mic drop, Boo. And he was like, oh my God, so emotional with some of the stuff you say. And you're so right. While we're on an emotional topic, your story of how you met your hubby, Nat, is so deep. The fact that me and him went to school together, like,
you might need to talk about that a little bit, because that's insane.
What? Say again, I didn't hear that.
That might you might need to tell the story about that because that's insane. Your story.
Oh yeah. Okay. Our story is wild. Like I mean, we reconnected is fucking nuts. Like we went to boarding school, me and Nats. We'll start there, then you can say about how you met. So me and Nats went to school, a very, traditional boarding school in the UK, and a beautiful school, but we both had really, really mental experiences there. And, I was so happy to get the fuck out. And so was she at the time when, she was a girl. And then now transitioned into being Nats, who is the most amazing dude I've ever met. He is just like the coolest person. And so we both left these fucking people behind. We were like, get the fuck out our lives. Like, it was just nuts. We went to school with some people who were just very, they didn't get either of us. And not saying everyone was like that, but the vast majority of people who I was socializing with in my year, it was, they called me fake. I was told I was never going to be anything. And they all watched my whole posts and stuff. Like, it's wild. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, we really see what's going on there years later. But you know what? It's okay. Because that taught me who I don't want to be. That taught me about the people I don't want to be around. Nats had a really, really, really similar experience. So when we left school, reconnected in this new genre, this new place, I was just moving to LA. And, he'd met you, fallen in love, been in this amazing relationship. So wait, now let's go to that. Me and Nats had big changes after school. We both just literally did 360s of who we became. I let go of my past and he let go of his as the girl he grew up as. And I let go of the people, some of the toxicity around me. And, there were some really nice people that I wish I'd stayed in touch with. So I just want to shout out to those ones. But yeah, the ones who really bullied me and told me you've got a big nose and you've got a big problem. And, here I am saving the world and helping people. It's like a full 360. And it's a really nice feeling today to sit here and know and own who I am. And I talk about everything I've done. I have no holes barred. I do not care because I know what I'm doing for the world. And Nat is so fucking amazing in that same way. He's so inspiring. So on that note, tell us now the second part of this beautiful journey. So how you two met, and then I love that story.
So we met in LA, and we never really got close, but it was our first time in Paris together, and we spent 10 days there. And I just saw him as this authentic person, and he was still going through a lot, Boarding school was a lot for him, but he still had a lot of demons, which I've talked about on my YouTube channel. I'm not oversharing. He's talked about them. And it's just crazy to see how far he's come now, because when we got married, he was a girl. And then through our marriage, he was like, I honestly have always, now I really want to be a boy. I really want to change my pronouns, but I want to keep my name the same, Nats, because I don't think that he could be another name. He's just so Nats, So yeah, in Paris, we spent 10 days together and we were inseparable. And I couldn't put my finger on why we were hanging out all the time. But then when we got back to LA, I was like, I miss this person and I miss being around them. I felt like I was more of my authentic self around him because there was no judgment. I didn't have to fake who I was. He loved me for me. And in past relationships, I can't say that. Something else we talk about in this book is how I have felt, and Kate talks about it as well, that a lot of the times in relationships for trans people, we are just fetishized, point blank, period. We are hidden. We are never, ever showed to the parents. We are just something that is a late night moment. And, it's always a secret. And that's something that I came to just, expect. I really did. And I only had really, really 2 serious relationships before Nats. And the rest was me being hidden and fetishized. And I know so many other trans girls go through the same thing. And it's trans people, not just trans girls. And it's just so disheartening because we deserve that validation of a regular relationship. We deserve to be taken out to dinner and shown to the parents and getting married. And just me and Nats eventually getting married. And I mean, the engagement was fucking insane. We also got engaged in Paris. which was so fun. And then, which was a surprise too. We had talked about it, but didn't know. I was gagging. And then we got married, and it's just a testament that I think we are a testament that trans people can be happy. We can get married. We don't always, need to hide in the shadows. And yeah, that's our love story. And I think that people who are being in a relationship where they feel fetishized or they feel, and they're not into it, because some people are into that, no judgment. I wasn't. And, they don't feel like their self-worth is being shown or respected, and they're not seeing it. I think that they should leave. I encourage them to leave.
Beautiful. I'm glad that you stand up for it so much. And the two of you together are, I would say, one of the most inspirational transgender icon couples in the fucking world. Like, I just love it. You stand for so much, and you inspire me in my own life. And I'm so proud of Nats and his journey. And, this is so interesting because we are all human. We are all human, and ultimately should be treated as it. We all have a heart, and we all go to the bathroom, and we all feel emotion. Let's just remember this. Like, we all have emotion. And that's why I think we could all just be a little bit kinder in the world. And when we are kinder, wonderful things happen. And when we do something for a stranger, like my lighting the candle, I talk about the candle effect. When we light somebody's candle today, you get a choice of whether you're going to do something nice for a stranger. And then they're going to go home and light their spouse's candle. And then their spouse is going to go home and light their friend's candle. And you light up the whole world in a split second. Or you can blow out somebody's candle in a split second and delight the whole world. And it's so sad. But you have a choice every day. You're going to light somebody's candle, you're going to blow it out. And we don't realize, smiling at a stranger, they may have been bullied until that day. They may have been molested, told something nasty. They may be still living in a place of trauma. I was that girl. I was living in all three of those things. But when somebody let a hand out and said, you can do this, you can actually be a coach like I am. They were a coach and they were inspiring me. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I can go out there and speak on stages and share my story. Maybe I am bigger than what I thought I was and what I'd allowed the world to tell me I was. So we must be authentic to who we are and believe we can do it. And it goes back to what I shared at the very start of the book club. Every day you get a choice, of that thought coming to life. What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Are you going to believe it? When you see it in your mind, are you going to believe it? Tell us now. Something that you're believing in. What are you working on? What are you manifesting? What are you going for? What is Gigi's next steps? Where are we going to see you? What's your next part of your growth and your evolution?
So I'm a girl that will do basically anything. And being on social media for so long has brought me so many blessings. And I wasn't always an active manifester, I thought. And then, I got into manifestation, and after talking with you, obviously, and so many other fabulous people along my journey, I was like, I think I manifested where I'm at right now without even thinking about it. And I am manifesting so much more for myself. I feel like I'm literally just getting started. I'm 31. I feel like I've already done so much, but the world is my oyster. I'm just working on, just like everybody else, being happy every day and living life to the fullest. I feel like I already do that, but I push myself every day to live harder, more passionately, and have more fun. And I'm a work hard, play hard kind of girl. So I'll be playing hard after I work hard. And I'm honestly right now, I'm living in the moment. I'm so proud of this book. And you can get your copy wherever books are sold, people. And you just need it. I expect you guys to get two. One to hold on to for artwork in your home, and one to read.
Get two. I love that. Give it to a friend. It looks really good on my side. I have like different books out on my table.
I always have.
I was just over
on the side.
You know that when you came over for my dinner party the other day, we had it out. Like, I just have this like on the side, and people ask questions, and it's really special because it's such a powerful book, and people always ask questions about it. It's such a great conversation topic as well, this book being on the side. So make sure you get yourself a copy. So ask away, put them in the chat now if you have a question, and we will get Gigi to answer anything she would like to. I'm so excited. And we're going to begin the questions with, okay, here we go. Veronica, please let us know your question.
Hi, Gigi. My question was,
when you had those challenges, what tools do you have to try to surpass them?
Thank you for that question. I feel like I'm on Miss America, Miss Universe. Thank you for your question. Even every challenge that I've had with my transition has been a new tool, whether it was financial freedom, whether it was finding a chosen family that's going to accept me, not having negativity around me, creative freedom also pushed me, inspirational freedom. And I think it all just comes from within. Like I also feel like I've learned over my transition that it's mind over matter a lot of the time. It's all in your mindset. You can be like, this is the worst day of my life. I've never been this low. I'll never, ever transition. Nobody in my life will ever call me the right pronouns or my new name, if that's what you choose to do. But that's a mindset. Yes, they will. You got to stay positive and you got to push on because nobody's going to do it for you. It's all about you. So I think mindset is the most important thing.
Thank you so much for asking your question, Veronica. Wow, I absolutely loved your answer to that, G. That was really powerful. Mindset is everything. And in life, it's everything. It's so important to understand that you are nothing without your mindset. You can have everything in the world, but if you do not have a strong, success, and powerful, positive mindset, you will lose it and not understand what's going on. Longevity is the key. This is not about short-term gratification. This is about long-term fulfillment. So choose who you want to be today, decide it, own it, and get your mindset right, baby. That's the main thing. I love that. Love that answer, G. Okay, we're going to go to Luna Monroe. Come up on stage, girl. We want to hear your question.
My question was, so I was reading your book and I was curious, what kind of tucking underwear do you use? Because I have the same issue you had and mine is just way too thick.
Okay, love this question. I personally use a brand called Tuck It Up with 3P. I think it's 3P, Tuck It Up, PPP. .com. They're amazing. I suggest that you go a size up. That's what I've learned. I would say get small, medium, large and just see which one. And then they have tons of styles. They're everything and they will snatch you beyond. I was always insecure about wearing jumpsuits and stuff because I was like, oh my God, there's going to be a bulge, which is not the vibe. And for me, at least, and those just make it disappear. And they're really easy to use too.
Perfect. Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Beautiful. I love this. It's literally everything that people want to know the answers to. This is so good. Such a unique session today. Okay, here we go. Tay Love, do you want to come up? Come up on stage. I love Tay. Tay has a crazy story that she's been through. Oh my God. Tay, come on stage. Come up and ask Gigi your question today.
Hi, Gigi.
Sure.
Hi, Natasha. Yes, honey. Okay, so I have a question. I have two for you, okay? My first question is in regards to where do you and your husband shop at? What is one store?
For clothes?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God, I shop everywhere. He wears a lot of his own stuff. He has a fashion brand called Strike Oil, and it's mostly streetwear, but they make a bunch of really, really sexy girls clothing, which I'm obsessed with. I wear a bunch of that stuff. Everyone, it's strikeoil.com if you are curious. It's so dope. Where am I loving shopping right now? I honestly haven't shopped in so long. I think the last place I shopped was actually Nordstrom because they just kind of have everything. I don't know. Where do I shop? I would just say Nordstrom or I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the worst answer ever. Thank God you have two questions.
My other question is about dancing. Do you guys dance? Do you guys dancing together or are you more no? What's your dance style?
The only time that we really danced, we danced at our wedding, which we totally didn't plan. We didn't rehearse or anything like that. We're let's just wing it. I don't think I have that much rhythm to be completely honest, but when I have a few drinks in me, that's when so usually at the club or at a house party or in my backyard with people. But I'm not doing like Dancing with the Stars stuff. Not yet.
So good. Thank you for coming up, Tay. Thank you for your question. Let's bring up Angelique. Angelique, you've got a great question. Let's bring you up. Angelique's one of my special students who does group coaching with me. She's amazing, and I've seen her evolution, and oh my God, I know she's going to definitely enjoy this moment with you. So here we go. Angelique, meet Gigi.
Hi, Gigi. I'm so excited to meet you. So I actually have two questions. One, you're beautiful, and I'd love to know your skincare routine from like wash to finish to makeup. And then the second question is, do you and your husband plan on starting a family? And if so, when?
Okay,
If that's too personal, I understand.
No, not at all. Thank you for those questions. Okay, so skincare. I recently have been obsessed with Kate Somerville. So I'm on their PR, so they send me everything, and I know exactly what is the best. So I use the Kate Somerville Exfoliate Face Cleanser, and it comes in green. Are you writing this down? I love you. I'm obsessed. Yes, a girl that just doesn't want to ask a question. She wants the facts. Okay, Exfoliate comes in a green bottle. That's everything. And if you have an event or something like that, there's a 2-minute facial that Kate Somerville sells. It literally you wash your face with that, and then you put it on dry skin. It's very, very intense. My face is like bright red after, but it leaves it so smooth. So I'm going to do that later because I have a gala tonight. So that's protein.
Period. Let's go.
I love Rodial, I think it's called, Rodial. They have this product called Dragon's Blood. I love their toner, and I also love their moisturizer. And It Cosmetics has a really good sleep serum that I'm obsessed with. And I just put that on last, and I like load it up. It kind of stings, but my skin looks gorgeous in the morning. It's very, very hydrated. I think there's like a little bit of retinol in it. And then for eye cream, I use an It Cosmetics eye cream too.
I just want to say as well, before you answer the next question, she actually looks like she does now in real life and better. So her skin is flawless, and she literally looks like a doll. Like there's no different. In fact, if anything, she's better in real life. Like it's a lot of people, we were talking about this the other night, do you remember, G? We were like, oh my God, so many people just don't look like their picture. But
You are, yeah.
identical to your pictures, if not better in person. So I have to say it's completely real. Like everything she does with her skin is like glowing.
Oh my God, you too. Number 2 question. Yes, we do. I've talked about it a lot on my YouTube channel. We are going through an IVF treatment journey right now. It's very, very difficult. Me being on hormones for so long and him never being on hormones is, we're at 2 ends of the spectrum. I never thought that starting hormones I never really thought that I wanted kids, biological kids, honestly. And now that I'm here, I'm like, I want a biological child if I could. So I recently stopped hormones to try to get everything, back up at where it was. And we're just on our journey right now on our IVF. So I can't give you really when, but if anybody's interested in that, they can go to my YouTube channel, because I definitely will keep everyone updated, because that's like a series I'm doing. And that's why also I really push people to, when they're starting their transition, to, even if they don't think that they want children, just freeze what you have. If you're dead set that you don't, that's fine. That's how I was. But I'm just putting it out there, because if someone told me that, I probably would have been like, no, I'm not going to do that. Don't worry about me. Now I wish somebody had pushed me. So I'm trying to be that voice to push people, because you never know who you're going to find. You never know what you're going to want 10 years down the road. And yeah, that's my advice.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I want to be godmama when you have
Yes.
baby.
Oh my God. Imagine the day I'm like, here's baby gorgeous.
Baby gorgeous. Like, oh my God, even this is so cute. Okay, wait, I have a really personal question. I know we're like live.
Yeah.
Who carries or neither carry?
We're not sure. That's also up in the air too.
So
it's
we could both do it. Like it.
Yeah.
it-
I know.
oh my God, that
I
is
know,
so
it's
fucking good. You have to hold it. Don't even say the answer, because you need to reveal that on your YouTube, and like we'll come back here after when either one of you is like carrying, and like, but you're gonna do that. You guys aren't gonna go surrogate.
Not sure. That's also an option. I know a lot of people do that. One of my best friends just did that, and it was hard for her, but she said it was really beautiful, and she doesn't regret it. And she still has her hot body, which is obviously not like the most important thing, but that's something.
I know who you're talking about. And yeah, there is definite positives to it. You're very similar humans, beautiful.
Yeah. I know you know who I'm talking about now.
Oh my God, I love this. Okay, we're going to have time for one more question. Has somebody on Instagram, TikTok, or any of the other platforms, you guys, if you just want to tell me if there's any answers, we're just going to see if there's any other questions. We'll pull one from a external thing because we gave priority to our Zoom VIP members here. Oh, Talia's got a question. While we wait, Talia, let's bring up your question. We'd love to hear it.
Hey, Gigi. Hi. So I came out as trans when I was 57, and I've been on hormones since then, estrogen and prometrium. I had a little intro. By the way, I've got your book.
Oh my God, yay.
So then I had some health issues come up, and I'm back on my trans journey after all the treatment and stuff. So anyways, I'm thinking about heading to facial team in Spain for FFS. I'm 63 now, 62, 63. And so what I want, because I've followed you for a while and a long time, and what I'm wondering about is how you felt about going into FFS. And there's obviously that's a very invasive, that's an intense surgery, it's very permanent. And I'm just wondering, how did you feel going into that?
I feel like I was a very rare case. I had never really had intense surgery before. I had my wisdom teeth taken out and I got my trachea done, but I wasn't put under for either. And I was fearless. I went to the guy that my first trans girlfriend went to, and I was like, if she can look like that. And I saw a few other before and afters, and I was just like, put me under, let's get this thing going, let's get it started. I was just completely fearless. I was so excited. But my dad, on the other hand, I had my sister and my dad there with me, and he was making me a little nervous because he was so nervous. And I remember right as I was rolled out into the operating room from my waiting room, they started crying, and I was like, guys, that's not what I need right now. I need you to be excited for me. And I think after is the hardest part. I think recovery for any surgery is the most important thing. You really have to take what the doctor says seriously. You have to, overdo it. I feel like a lot of the times I've just been like, oh, I'm fine. And then I'm out at the club or I'm out doing my normal things, but you shouldn't, because the results you're just going to need to get it done again. So I'm excited for you though. You should be so excited too. You're going to look beautiful.
I am excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's such a beautiful moment we just shared. I've watched Talia in our book club for I don't know how long now. It's been such a beautiful, I see your face every week, and just I had no idea about your amazing journey. And it just shows this is for you. We have the most amazing moments in life where you think, wow, I just showed up to this event. I know I've been a part of this. And this moment with Gigi just touched my heart, because I can see that, it was so connecting for you today. I am so grateful for your time today. I am so excited for your onward journey and what you're doing. And for everyone who's been here with us today, I hope you've got as much out of this as I have. This has been such a special and enchanting session, and we've learned so much. And it's been no holds barred. It's been fucking nuts. And I love that. It's really important to be real and be authentic to who you are. And you've probably learned some more about yourself. I've definitely learned more about mine just from listening. So thank you so much for spending your time with us and sharing your knowledge. Give me one line that you would tell your younger self today.
I would tell my younger self to live more authentically and crazier. Go for it.
Yes, bitch. We love it. So good. Thank you so much, Gigi. Let's give her a round of applause. Let's give her some high fives. Give her some virtual love. Send that love. Send that love. Woo-hoo.
Love you.
Buddy, sending love. We love you so much. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in today to the book club, whether you've been on social media, streaming live somewhere else, or coming in with our VIP here in Zoom. If you want to join our VIP in Zoom, you want to be with us up close and personal, like all of our beautiful members today. They were on stage, they were asking questions. You want to be here. Look at her with her gorgeous book. You want to be a part of this book club. all you got to do is get on Zoom. You got to go to beuntiliyoubecomeit.com/book-club. I am so excited for you, G. Thank you for being here. Congratulations with all your success and for being my friend. I love you.
I love you more.
I'll see you soon.